Hi friends, welcome to the porch that I now live on. Yay! Just a quick note in this, I'm going to talk about some emotionally charged issues, just for me, emotionally, anxiety, and I'm also going to talk about bodily fluids like vomiting and death. So those are the heads up. Death in my family. Okay. Yeah, so y'all can probably hear the birds more than you can hear me right now, but that's okay. I got the windows open since it's 90 degrees. It's like a sauna up in here. Anywho, I want to tell you a little bit about what happened a month ago because I went through some really hard times and I hadn't been in a good enough place for the past months to really talk about them, and they're things that I do want to share with you. So, oh hey Penny. You're so cute. Do you want to see the camera? Do you want to meet my friends? This is Penny. She's a porch cat too, just like me. Actually, she's Micah's cat, but I love her. And she loves me too. My mom's name is Betty Lou. She passed away a few years ago. She's who I named my guitar after, and she always used to say that bad things happen in threes. It was some southern saying from where she grew up, and you know, that's sort of what happened to me. I had a week, it was the second to last week of April, and I had probably the worst week of my life this year. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what happened and where I'm at now. Crummy thing number one. So the first crummy thing that happened to me during that week was, it was the 19th, and I was on my way down to Kutztown University in Pennsylvania to do my only gig of the whole year, actually, or of the whole semester, because I hadn't booked many gigs, and I'd said no to a lot of gigs because I was really busy editing my memoir. And because of that, Kutztown had contacted me so far in advance, and I was super prepared for this gig. It was about a 6-hour drive for me from Boston. I'd taken 2 days off of work, and I started to head down to the gig, and I was in Western Massachusetts when I was having a conversation with someone, and this conversation, it wasn't that it was necessarily triggering of a panic attack for me, but there was a lot going on in this conversation, and this person was talking to me while I was driving, and that's the first thing that I shouldn't have done. And all of a sudden I began to feel really, really sick. So I pulled over on the side of the road, and I just vomited out the side of my car and all over the side of the road, and I started shaking, and I felt a panic attack coming on. As many of you all know, I've suffered and struggled with undiagnosed anxiety for a really long time, and I just got medicated for it about 3 months ago. But at this point, the anxiety medication, it takes eight weeks for it to actually work, if it's gonna work at all, and wasn't quite there yet. So I had a really bad panic attack. It's the last panic attack that I've really had. I started vomiting and shaking and crying, and I felt like I was gonna die, and I couldn't breathe. And so I called my mom and asked her what to do, and she was like, come up here right now because this is really scary and you're going through a lot, and I need you to you can come on up. And I was like, okay, but I have to cancel this gig and I feel so bad doing it. So I called them. I was still vomiting. At this point I made it to a rest area, and the janitor kind of comforted me in the bathroom a little bit. That was nice. But I called Kutztown, and I spoke with this woman who sounded so disappointed, and I've never canceled a gig in my life before, and I was so upset that had to happen. But I went up to my mom's house that night once I was feeling a little bit better. She was 2 hours from me, and that was a good call because my mom is a really rejuvenating person, and she showed me how supportive she was, and I was honest with her about my anxiety and that I'm on medication because my parents are the kind of people who aren't into medication. So that's that. That was the first bad thing. I had a panic attack and had to cancel that gig. The worst part is that vomiting thing continued for 72 hours. I hate vomiting, and I usually vomit once a year, and I vomited so much, and I'm so sorry to say that I just really thought I was gonna die. Okay, yeah, there we go. For 72 hours, I was just puking my guts out. But I haven't vomited since, so that's good. Alright, so that first bad thing started on Wednesday, April 19th. So the 20th was Thursday, 21st was Friday, the 22nd was Saturday, and the 23rd was Sunday. And on Sunday, my partner and I ended our relationship. I'm now single, and that is all I'm going to say about that. We are friendly, and she has the kitty cats, so that's completely fine. That's the reason I'm living on a porch right now. It's safer for me And personally, like, I'm living with two of my closest friends. I'm only on the porch, and I'll show you the porch in just a second. I'm only on the porch because they have two roommates that live upstairs. Both of them are moving out in September, so I'll be taking one of their rooms. But yeah, one of them said they were going to move out potentially in June or July. That changed, so I'm being flexible, and I'm on the porch, and I'm also doing cat sitting and dog sitting gigs. But let me just show you my setup on the porch here. I'm settled in, as you can see. I have my Mac, so I can actually do videos and do YouNow and everything again. And I'm happy about that, and I'm living a very minimalistic lifestyle. I donated half of my belongings and most of my clothing. So let me show you everything that I own right now in one spot, besides my paintings and a couple things I'm storing at my mom's, like my guitar. Okay, here we go! Okay, so what we have here is my toiletries, some food, my Settlers of Catan, my backpack that I always have on me that has all my important stuff, like my medication there, my guitar, my MIDI keyboard, my cajon drum, that's my desk chair. That's Penny. She's not mine, but you know, there she is. There's my fan, got a power strip, got the Mac set up, got my little mic so I can record you some porch songs, got my incense because it smelled bad out here when I first got here. All my clothes are in this dresser. That's Reed's. That's his stuff. That bike is his. The toilet paper's not all mine, as you know. And then this is the rest of the porch, okay? All right, that's the rest of the porch. That's full of trash and things that are gonna be donated. So once Reed and I get around to it, we're gonna clear that all out. All right, so I'll have a little bit more storage. Maybe I can build a little bed. But I have a nice view and a lot of windows. You see? Isn't that nice? Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that little tour. As you can see, it's not ideal. Where am I sleeping right now? I'm sleeping on the couch in their living room. Before that, I was sleeping on Reed's bed because he was house sitting. And before that, I was sleeping on Micah's bed because he was visiting his girlfriend in London. So yeah, and I'm dog sitting for a little bit in June. I've got some gigs lined up for that, and I've got a lot of friends offering places to stay. I'm homeless in the sense that I don't have a permanent address, but I still check my P.O. box in Jamaica Plain once a week because that's where I have therapy. So overall, since I've been single, I have been feeling healthier and happier than before, which is great. So that happened on Sunday, April 23rd. And on Monday, April 24th, my last living biological grandparent passed away, Florence Kergil. She was 96 years old, almost 96 years old, born in the 1920s. And she was a force to be reckoned with, but it was a really difficult time because I just had this big thing go down for me, and I needed support from my family, and now all of a sudden my dad needed a lot of support because that was my dad's mom, and they were a very small family, and my dad's younger brother is in federal prison right now. That's something that my family's been dealing with for years and years and years. He actually went to prison in November. I still have to get down there to visit him. I'm actually one of the few people that's been cleared to go visit because I don't have a criminal record. But basically the stress was that my uncle might not be able to get out of prison to go to the funeral, and he's the one that took care of my Nana for years and years and years. Like, the majority of the end of her life, he was there for her, and it's really no coincidence that my uncle reported to prison and that my Nana's health went downhill like this. But the most important thing was that he'd be able to get out and to see her. But on Monday, the 24th, when she passed away, the prison went into lockdown. It's one of the most violent prisons in the country, actually. He's in the work camp part of it. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but he's not in the maximum security area. But when the maximum security area goes on lockdown, his area goes on lockdown. And when it's on lockdown, all they tell you is no visitors. That's all they say. So you can't call in, you can't have a visitor. And so my dad wasn't able to give him the news, and we didn't know if he'd be able to come to the funeral, and it was so important for him to be there. So I didn't know when I went to the funeral a week later. It was on April 30th. I didn't know if he was gonna be there, and all of a sudden I see this really buff young man who I don't recognize, who is Anthony, and then I see my uncle in his like dark green, it's not bright orange, dark green jumpsuit with his tag and everything. And so he got to come with a guard, and he was let out just for 4 or 5 hours to go to the funeral, and that was a good thing. But all of that happened within the span of about 5 days, and it was a lot for me. I know you haven't heard from me much, and I just wanted to let you know I've been processing and riding with the tides of everything like that. My anxiety is so much better now. I'm gonna make a separate video about that, and I just want to tell you all how much I love and appreciate all of your support so much. So 3 bad things happened. I got them out of the way. That's what my therapist said. She's like, well, that was 1, 2, and 3. And I was like, yep. So last but not least, I just wanted to end this video with a quick update for you all. I've been finishing editing my memoir, and I've been finishing working on some songs. I'm also planning on writing a series of porch songs, and yeah, that's what's going on there. Also, I turned 26 on Friday, May 19th. That's my 26th birthday. Technically, I'm starting my 27th rotation around the sun, and a lot of people were asking if I had an Amazon wish list, so I made one. It's in the comments down below, but I also do have PayPal if you want to donate anything to me financially. I owe back money to my ex for rent because I can't afford it living in 2 places, and it's been costly, but simultaneously donating money for me, like without me giving you something in return, feels really weird. And so I'm also putting links down below to Boomerangs. That is the Boston specific AIDS Action. They help out with AIDS Action Boston a lot. That's where I donated most of my belongings, most of my clothes and most of my things. I donated to them. And I'm also going to put the Trans Lifeline down below, because if you're in a giving mood and it's my birthday on Friday and you want to celebrate that, please make a donation to one of those places. If that's more your thing. Trans Lifeline has saved some of my friends' lives, so I put all that down below for you all. And lastly, but not leastly, I'm gonna revamp my Patreon page. I think that it's important for me to get back into Patreon and to get more into presenting you with poems, private live streams, things like that. So you will hear more about that in the soon future, but for the meantime, I'm broadcasting on You Now, like all the time. Follow me on there, it's skylarkeleven. I'll also put my link for that below. This is all like self-promo at the end of this sad video. This is just weird. Life is so weird. It's weird being a YouTuber. It's weird being like, should I share this with the world or should I not? But I actually honestly feel better when I do. Yeah, I do. Lastly, if you made it this far in this video, please leave a joke down below in the comments that you think I would find funny, because I could definitely use a pick-me-up in that regard. I love you all so much. Can't wait to actually be making videos again and to be more in touch. So tell me what's going on. Update me on your life in the comments. I missed you, and I'm back. And older than ever. That sounds terrible. I'm sweaty. I am so sweaty. There's sweat pouring down my body right now. That's why I'm leaning forward, so it can just drip off. Okay, love you. Bye.